James Lynch here for Home of Fight. Happy to be joined by former UFC light heavyweight champion Jamahal Hill, who's going to be back in action against Khalil Rountree at UFC Kansas. Jamal, how's it going, man?
I'm good, bro. Just chilling, training.
I can tell you got quite the setup there. And you're back home, actually, right now, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because I know last time we did the interview, you were in Vegas. You gone back home for this one?
Yeah, I'm back here for right now. You know, we spent a lot of time in Vegas and in Omaha last camp. So, you know, we just brought it back in-house, brought it back to the roots and whatnot. So that's where we are with it for right now.
When did you find out about the fight? I think we found out a few weeks ago. Was it right around the same time? Because I know for the Jiri fight, you got lots of notice for that one, but you just couldn't announce it.
Well, yeah, no, pretty much the day after I signed the contract, they announced it.
Okay, so it kind of got out there. And any other opponents in the mix, or was it only Khalil?
No, they gave me who I asked for.
Good. Okay, so did you? So you went to the UFC and you were like, "Hey, I want to fight this guy," and it all worked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much.
Well, that's good.
My last few fights has been like that. Like, I asked for Jiri, they gave me Jiri. I asked for Alex. You know what I mean? Which that was pretty much a given. But even before that, the Santos, Johnny Walker, I've pretty much been able to pick my fights.
That's good. Why specifically him? Is it just because he fought Pereira? He had the good fight against him. Why Khalil? And you guys were obviously booked to fight before too.
Yeah, we were booked to fight, so you know, I wanted a quick turnaround. So familiar, somebody who I was already been in camp for was good, and he's got a lot of hype right now. Like he's got a lot of hype. You know, he earned a lot of people's respect with the last fight against Pereira, and a lot of people are like really thinking he's that guy like that. So
okay,
show levels.
How quickly from asking the UFC did you get this fight?
They're pretty much just like, oh yeah, that's good. That makes sense. We'll figure out a date and time and stuff, and we got it. We'll make it happen.
So it happened pretty quickly then?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, well, yeah, I'm wondering how all this works. I don't know, right? Like I know sometimes it can take a bit for people to sign or whatever. So that's good. It worked out in your favor there. And you sort of mentioned it there. This was probably a good amount of time in between the fights because you said you wanted to get back in there, right?
Yeah, it works out.
Okay, that's good. Never fun to talk about a loss, but what was your biggest takeaway from the Jiri fight?
I just need to be 100%, need to be all the way healthy, you know. I was dealing with some things going into that fight I haven't really talked about, you know. I'll talk about it later, you know what I mean? But for right now, I'm just locked in on Khalil and those things, you know. It was a fun fight. It was good to be back in there, you know. It did feel I just got to be comfortable. I got to stay active. That takedown was another thing. But, you know what I mean? Hats off to Jiri. He came in, he made adjustments into his game, you know what I mean? He worked his game plan to, ultimately get the win. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and so people know there's a lot of respect between you and Jiri. You guys had the drink after the fight. You guys are cool and all that. And that was one of the cool moments of the post fight as well. I think people watching the fight though felt like you didn't look like the old Jamahal Hill. Is that accurate? You kind of felt that way in the fight, not taking anything away from Jiri, but like, you know, if you compare how you looked in that fight to maybe the Glover fight or some of your other performances, did you feel different in there?
It was definitely some different things. Some things are different, you know. Just dealing with injuries and whatnot, you know. I just got some things to shape back up and focus on.
Let me ask you this, just being more specific. Do you feel like you weren't in the best shape for that fight? Because I think if you look at your physique, and again, nobody's an expert watching on, you know, at home or anything, but do you feel like you had been in better shape for other fights? And that could be for a variety of reasons, obviously.
I was in great shape. I wasn't tired at all. It wasn't or none of that thing. It's just certain things, man.
Okay.
I'll talk about them later on.
Yeah, I'm not going to pry, man. I know how you are. It's fine. Like, you know, when the time is right, I'm sure all that stuff will come out.
Enjoy his victory, you know, and those things, you know. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I felt like, you know what I mean, I felt well enough to go in there and try to get the win, and I went in and challenged him for the win, and he did his job. So it is what it is.
Looking at this fight on paper with you and Khalil, two strikers, is there more to that? How do you look at this fight stylistically?
Yeah, I mean, I look at like most people look at me as a striker just because that's what I like to do. I like to strike and things like that. But I'm a fully well-rounded martial artist. I've been, like I said, I came into this doing jujitsu, but I mean, jujitsu don't always sell seats, sell tickets. It always don't make the money, but it's definitely in the bag. It's definitely something that that I'm well capable of dominating with.
We talked about you being back home. How have you structured camp? Is the whole camp going to be back home in Michigan, or are you going to do some in Vegas as well? How are you structuring things ahead of this fight?
We'll start. We're doing beginning of the camps here in Vegas. We're doing most of the work, a lot of the work here in Vegas, and then we're gonna we'll be out in Vegas. We'll be out in Michigan. We'll be out in Vegas towards the end of camp.
Okay, that makes sense. So back home, same cast of characters. Who they mainly working with out there?
Yeah, same guys. I got my striking coach back, Johnny Grigg, where he's had some health issues, some things that he had to deal with, personally and things like that to get back to where he needed to be, and I'm glad to have him back. It's the only striking coach I've ever had, before, these things last, I had Danny Molino in my corner last time, which was great and everything. Danny's a great coach. He's been with Anthony for years. He's training a lot of guys down there at Skywalker 101. They're getting a lot of things done. They actually just had a few guys win some titles this past week, so they're doing their thing. But he's like, it's hard. It's hard with him being in Omaha and already having a gym established, and he's got guys that he's got obligations to too. So
Yeah. No.
it's nice to have. It's nice to.
Are you and Anthony doing any training this camp? Because he's obviously the co-main of it. That's one of the cool parts of this card.
Right now we just like I think it's more so just like the distance and space and camps, and then the time, the timing and things like that. So it'll be kind of hard for me to get out there right now. But fight week, definitely, I expect fight week we'll be locked in together and things like that. Just that last little round about to sharpen things up and things like that. Yeah, for sure.
Is Big Dog in the gym with you right now, Brett Martin?
Nah, Brett just had another kid. He's working.
Okay.
He's taking care of family and things like that. So he hasn't been in. He hasn't been in, but it's always love. It's always.
I was going to say he'll be there in spirit because he might be one of your biggest fans, right? In case people don't know, you guys go way back. So
always nothing but support from Big Dog.
Yeah.
Same goes both ways. That's my brother. We're brothers for life.
And just quickly in Vegas, do you bring your guys out from Michigan to train there, or do you have guys in Vegas you get to work with too?
I bring guys from Michigan. I bring guys from Omaha too, from Anthony's camp. I've been working with Carlos Trinidad, who's fighting April 4th out for the BKFC title in Dubai. Blaine Richards, he was supposed to be on the. I don't even think I can say that. Never mind.
That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
I almost slipped up. But yeah, I've been working with those guys. They come out to Vegas, whenever I need, whenever I put the call in and things like that. And then I got my guys here. I got the young guy, James Jones. He just defended his amateur title. He should be turning pro soon here. I'm really, really pleased and happy with how he's looked. Like, he's about 25 now. We've had him since he was 17, just working and slowly building and progressing him. So that way, whenever he comes out, he's the showstopper that we know he can be. So yeah, it's all going good.
That's good. Corner going to be the same. Chad Pomeroy. Who else is going to be in the cage with you for this fight?
Chad, Justin, Johnny, and probably have Danny in there too. Still.
Okay. And I mean, kind of an obvious question, but how's this fight playing out on April 26th?
I expect me to go in and win dominantly. Before like the other fights, and I mean, obviously I've said this before, but it's what I expect every fight. I train to go in and dominate, but I believe that especially in this fight, just the skill level and just what I'm able to do and where in my prestige as a fighter, I believe is just that much greater, and I just want to show that. That's the biggest thing for this: is go in and dominate and show that I'm a champion. I'm a champion and a championship level fighter.
Do you feel like there? I feel like there's a lot of interest in this fight, and you know, it's funny. Like I asked you, I can't remember how many interviews ago about Khalil, like as a potential matchup, and that clip on Instagram, I still get comments, like even today before we hopped on here, people still commenting on you saying like, oh, he's not on my level and all that. Like you built up a lot of interest with that clip. Are you finding the same thing, that people are pretty hyped about this fight, even though it's a few weeks away here?
I don't know. I really ain't been paying attention to it. You know, people online talk. You know what I mean? And then they're wishy washy. Like I've even seen a couple things now with people shitting on Alex now because he took a loss. It's
Yeah.
just like it's part of the business, bro. You just can't really pay much attention to what they're saying or what they, you know what I mean, or any of that stuff, just because it's all over the place. It's illogical and a lot of it is delusional.
Are we not getting? So I guess we won't be getting any spotlight posts in the next little bit where you took the profile pictures of the people talking smack and making it into a video. We won't be seeing that.
I haven't really been online to do that. I mean, I could do it. I could do it. They're always talking, but they've a lot of the guys that are talking now. They're talking from fake profiles. So,
Yeah,
you know.
I know. I always said this: you should use your real name online. If you're going to say something, you should be able to, back it up.
Stamp your name to it.
I agree.
But they just like they won't show up to the gym to tell you, I mean, they can really see what it's about.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree. You mentioned Pereira there. Just your thoughts on that fight with, I know you talked more in depth on your YouTube channel, but just, Pereira obviously losing the fight. What did you think of Ankalaev's performance in that one?
I think he did exactly what I thought he was going to do. I mean, the fight kind of, for the most part, kind of looked how I thought it would, aside from the fact that I thought we would see more aggression from Pereira. I thought Pereira would be more aggressive, be more like foot on the gas after him, trying to push him back and throwing a lot more shots. That's why I made the prediction that, the counter shot that might knock him out, well, he could possibly get knocked out from a counter shot, because I expected him to be more forward and more pressure and more on him, trying to hunt that finish. But, we kind of just got I don't know what the word is, stonewalled maybe. Like, he just kind of got. He got met with a bunch of different puzzles, bunch of different things that he didn't expect, and he was trying to make adjustments and things. But as he adjusted, Magomed adjusted as well. So did a good job.
How did you score the fight? Because some people felt like, there was that one scorecard that was 4-1. Do you agree with that, or do you think it was 3-2?
I had it 4-1 live. Okay. Like I only watched it live whenever it was live to me. I felt it was 4-1. I felt that Pereira won the first round, kind of won the first round, just with a little bit of volume. He came out a little bit more trying to find his shot. And then from there, I feel like Ankalaev took over, and I think he was able to control the rest of the fight. And he got the last 4 rounds. The fifth round was close. Fifth round was close, and it could have went either way, but ultimately, I didn't feel like Alex really landed like a major shot or anything like that to really give him a stamp to where he won that round for me anyway. But yeah, I thought fourth round, I remember thinking like if he wins this round, he's going to be able to just coast, because that's like I knew he got round. Again, to me, in my own personal opinion, I felt he for sure got rounds 2, 3, and 4.
There's been some narrative coming out of the fight that it was boring. I know there was some clinching in the fight. I didn't think it was boring. What was your assessment of it? Because you're as honest as it gets. What did you think of the fight? Did you think it was entertaining, or what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining, but I think it's more so entertaining. It was more so entertaining just because Pereira has that one shot that can just end a fight.
Yeah.
We were kind of banking to see that, to where, maybe like, yeah, I think we were kind of just banking on that, just because like that's what we're used to. We used to seeing it, but even when they in the Izzy fight, he lost. He was losing that fight up until I'll say the fifth. Until the 5th round where he knocked him out. The first one, I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So we were expecting, all right, when's the moment? When's it going to come? So that kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. And then you want to see how Magomed adjusts and how he's going to keep finding ways to control the fight. So for me, it wasn't not entertaining. Is it a fight that I'm like, oh, I gotta watch again? No, but while it happened, it was entertaining.
It looks like they're going to do the rematch next. Do you think Alex can make the adjustments to beat him, or do you think Ankalaev will still have his number?
I think he is. I think he can. I think he's very well capable of making the adjustments that he needs to make to win that fight. He's gonna have to be locked into the gym to where he don't get tired. Like, you know what I mean, he's gonna have to up his cardio a lot because his output's gonna have to go up. His output with the kicks and things that actually, like, you know what I mean, that those threats, I believe adding more kicks and working a lot more and having a higher volume with kicks in this fight would get it done for Alex, but we'll see.
We got a big fight in your division coming up on Saturday with Jan Blachowicz and Carlos Ulberg. Jan didn't fight last year. He's obviously 42, and Ulberg, I believe, is favored in the fight. Do you have a winner in that one? Who do you think gets it done in that fight?
I don't know. I was going to do a breakdown. I actually was going to do a breakdown on this a little bit later. You know what I mean, probably drop that later tonight or tomorrow.
Okay,
but
it's an
interesting fight. It's an interesting fight.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Jan's being counted out though, like a little bit, just because of, you know, again, I know he's older and all that, but I mean, this is a guy that also went the distance with Pereira, right?
Yeah. The more I think, well, honestly, in that fight, when I was watching that fight back for UFC 300, Jan won that fight. Like, he beat Pereira in that fight. To be honest with you, like that was my opinion and that was my assessment from that fight. But you know, it is what it is. But he that's, I think, like I said, it's recency bias. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen Jan fight since that fight, and that was in what I was injured then.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I've fought a couple times since then. Ulberg's fought a few times since then. He's knocked out a couple guys, and yeah, you know, so I believe recency bias does play a factor into that, but I believe Jan is fully capable. He's a champion. He's capable of going and making the adjustments he does. He needs to and going and get the win. I don't think I'll do my breakdown on that.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I want to give the teaser for that too. People should be watching your channel and all your breakdowns. You do a good job with it. The other thing I was going to ask is with Pereira losing, there was some thought if Pereira won this fight that maybe he'd go up to heavyweight. I know I asked you this, I think, every interview, but I mean, it still hasn't happened. Do you think Jones and Aspinall happens at this point? Because the longer this goes, I don't think it does.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really heard any talks about it. I haven't really talked to anybody about it or anything like that.
Yeah.
But from my understanding, well, Dana did come out and say earlier this year that it's definitely going to happen. They're going to make it happen. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Ultimately, it's up to Jon. It's up to Jon if he wants to do that or not.
If it does happen, do you think Aspinall wins, or do you think Jones has his number there?
Well, if Jon Jones has taught us anything, you can never count him out. You can never count him out, no matter what the challenge is, no matter what. He's always risen to the occasion and risen to that challenge. And perform exponentially. So I think that it'll be a good fight. I believe it'll be a good fight. I believe it'll probably be one of the harder fights and harder challenges that Jon has had in his career. So I mean, it's all about if he wants to challenge himself like that or not.
I mentioned people moving up weight classes. Ilia is another one who's left 45. He's going up to 55. Do you think he'll have success there? You know, with his knockout power, I think anything's possible, right?
I think just with his full skill set and range of talents that he has at his disposal, he's gonna be a problem no matter what. You know what I mean? Like martial arts, just weight classes do matter. They do play a factor, but certain martial arts and things like that have figured out skill and have certain skill to where they can transcend those things. And I think Ilia is one of those guys.
Can he beat Islam? Do you think? Do you think he can beat Islam?
I believe he's capable of beating Islam. Just what I've seen and personally too. Just like hand speed and the tricks and the way he plays with his striking game. I believe he's definitely capable of catching Islam. And if he catches anybody, I believe he can knock them out. You know what I mean? I believe his power might even carry. Not saying that his size and things like that, he can move up to like those higher weight classes, but if he catches it, the way he hits, if somebody even in a bigger weight class get like that, he can put them on wobble street.
We talked earlier about Ulberg and Jan. Obviously, there's a few things going on in your division. It looks like they'll do probably Pereira and Ankalaev next. You got Jan, Ulberg. There's still Rakic out there. Like, I guess you're just focused on your fight and you'll kind of take it fight to fight. Are there any opponents out there that you look at in the future, think like, hey, that would be like a fun fight to have at some point? Is there anyone you hope to fight at some point?
Yeah, I mean, I still want to get the Pereira fight back now. The Jiri fight, you know, that's another fight that I like to have another go at. You know, just after, you know, I mean, getting my things, getting working on some things and getting some things back together like I needed them to be, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
There's definitely fights that I look forward to. Plus, as well as like there's some some exciting guys coming up. Nobody really put that stamp on their name yet, really in the like tours that's coming up for the back of the division, but they're coming. It's just
Yeah.
what happens with time. There's always going to be new names, new challenges, and new exciting fighters.
Yeah.
So
And I'd say the big thing for you too is probably just being active, keeping, staying healthy in that too, just to build some momentum, because you've had a weird couple of years, right, with the injuries and everything, right? So I'm sure like this year is all about just, consistency, I'm assuming.
yeah, it sucked, man. Go from the never really be injured, you know what I mean, and before to where now is just like it's happened. They kind of got poured on me. Yeah, I mean, I like to stay active, stay, keep that same momentum and things like that going, like I had before.
Um, we talked about people moving up weight classes. It looks like Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis next. That's obviously the weight class below you. But there's this talk from his fan base as well about him maybe fighting at 205. Do you think he'd be? Obviously, he's pretty strong for 85. We saw that against Robert Whitaker. Do you think he'd have success at 205, or do you think that's too much of a jump for him?
Who, Hamzat?
Khamzat, yeah. Just from what you've seen, I mean, I don't think you guys have ever trained or
Well,
anything.
the thing is though, he's very hittable. So getting cracked by 205 is not the same as getting cracked by welterweights and 185. And honestly, the 185er that I seen him fight was Kamaru, who's a welterweight.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's all about how he's able to respond to getting hit at those higher weight classes, because he's a bigger dude. You know what I mean. I believe if he put on some muscle, he might have the size pause to get up to that to handle himself in that weight class. But I don't think he's going to be able to just manhandle guys like he's done in the smaller weight classes.
Yeah, well, because there was that whole story about him and Jiri training together, and apparently got the better of him. That was like something that had come out, which I don't like that. Anyways, I'm sure you believe in this too. That like stuff that's in the gym should stay in the gym, right?
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're in the gym, I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to go hard on you or none of those things. I'm trying to, I'm going, sometimes even in grappling, you're going to put yourself in bad positions just so you have the time to be able to work out, and we'll see what those positions feel like for whenever you get into a fight. So yeah, that measuring up against training partners while you're training is kind of, that shit ass to me.
Yeah. Jamal, thanks for doing this. I know you got to get back to training. Anything you want to plug, your YouTube channel, anything else you got going on, I'll give you the last word.
No, man, it's all good, bro. It was good to talk to you. Shout out to you. I'm just chilling, bro. I'm good.